Hey everybody, the Oath Keeper here. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I've been on a hiatus because I've been trying to take care of some very important stuff going on in our life right now. But I wanted to drop by and give some information, give a real quick update on a couple of things, and let you all know something that I think that needs to be made known. Many of you know that I was once a member of a group called the Real Facebook Tea Party group. And I was bounced from that group because I dared to challenge people on their idea of whether or not Ted Cruz is or is not a natural-born citizen. Now, according to the bylaws and the rules of that group, there was no such law in there that said that this could not be discussed. It was just generally accepted by people in the group that you don't question that Ted Cruz is eligible. Now, I say it that way for a very specific reason, because it's an accepted thing, but it's not the way the rule is. And that's where we're at with the eligibility thing. Now, before you sit there and accuse me of being somebody being a Trumpster or being somebody that was brainwashed by Trump, understand that the bulk of the information that I have for determining that Ted Cruz was not eligible was information that I discovered in 2007 when it was evident to me that Barack Hussein Obama, aside from being a socialist and being an enemy of the United States, also wasn't constitutionally eligible. So that being said, now let me explain to you why people that think that he's eligible are using the wrong premise. Now, for those of us that know that Ted Cruz and Barack Hussein Obama are not eligible, we use what's called Vattel's Law of Nations, which we say is what the Founding Fathers used to determine what a natural-born citizen is. In it, it states that to be a natural-born citizen, in this case of the United States, your parents, both your parents, have to be U.S. citizens. Well, the other side of that coin is that a lot of the people that say, no, you can have one parent to be a U.S. citizen, and that makes you a U.S. citizen, point toward Blackstone. Well, interesting thing about Mr. Blackstone is that he gets misquoted about as much as anybody else does. I went online because, hey, the internet can be used for stuff other than Facebook and porn, and I found out some very, very interesting stuff that apparently a lot of the people that say that Blackstone was a single-parent, natural-born citizen kind of guy proves them absolutely wrong. You see, way back during the reign of King William in England, there were a lot of foreign powers that were trying to take over England and replace him as king. Therefore, based off Blackstone's writings, Blackstone's definitions, and it was adopted into British common law, that the only person or persons that could run and rule England are people that were born to English parents. Now, this begs the question. If Blackstone is teaching that to be a natural-born citizen, you have to have two parents of that, in this case, the United States, or in their case, England, then that same should carry over for here. So it would be very, very possible that the Founding Fathers knew this, were aware of this, and it became irrelevant because both Blackstone and Vattel and British common law all said that to be a natural-born citizen, you have to have parents who are citizens of that country. In this case, again, the United States. So, with that said, there you go. Ted Cruz, Barack Hussein Obama, not eligible. And a lot of times people confuse being natural born with being naturalized. Dinesh D'Souza, Fabio, Arnold Schwarzenegger were all naturalized U.S. citizens, and they are not eligible to run for president of the United States. Pretty simple. Orly Tates has a U.S. mother and a foreign-born father, and she is ineligible to run under the Constitution. Some people go, well, that's a lie, she can run. And I go, no, you probably should read the law or at least talk to her and find out why she is ineligible to run. But they don't want to do that. Anyway, long story short, with regards to that, by the way, a lot of folks told me that, oh, hey, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled that that Cruz is eligible and can stay on the ballot. And no, they didn't. See, legal precedence is this. When a plaintiff files a complaint, they have to prove their case in court. That's the way the U.S. system works. I've accused you of something. I have to prove that you did it. Pretty simple. For whatever reason, because the transcripts haven't been released yet, and nobody knows what procedural or discovery type thing was made during the case in Pennsylvania, the judge ruled that Ted Cruz could stay on the ballot. He did not rule that he was eligible. He said he could stay on the ballot because the point was to remove Ted Cruz from the ballot. Well, okay, you didn't prove your case. He can stay on the ballot. And it doesn't matter whether the judge knows you're guilty of sin or not. If the judge has any, intestinal fortitude, he's going to do one of two things. If he knows you're guilty, he's going to recuse himself from the case so that you can get a fair trial. Or if they have any integrity, they're going to sit there and listen. And if the prosecution doesn't make their case, he doesn't rule in their favor, regardless of what he knows and what he feels. This is the problem that we had with Elena Kagan ruling on, sitting on the SCOTUS and ruling on Obamacare, something she helped write. Should have recused herself completely on that one. But that's a whole other issue. So we go back to this. Well, the case said that Cruz could stay on the ballot in Pennsylvania. Terrific, fine. So they appealed it. Well, they filed the appeal late, and it went to the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania said, sorry, you filed it late. We're not going to hear the case. Now, that's what happened. What I'm being told by people that are Ted Cruz supporters is that the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled that he's eligible. No, they didn't. Huge difference, folks, between a court refusing to hear a case and ruling that somebody is eligible. It's important that we know the difference in these things. That's why I think we should have state-by-state resolutions to say that, hey, we're going to define what a natural-born citizen is so that the next time somebody that has a maybe American mother shows up and says, well, I want to be president, we'll know better. Because under British law, Ann Dunham, Barack Obama's mother, was a British citizen. So it doesn't matter where he was born. He's a British citizen. If you don't count that whole, he was adopted by an Indonesian and never reclaimed his U.S. citizenship. By the same token, Ted Cruz's mother lived, worked, and voted in Canada as a Canadian citizen. So Canada didn't recognize dual citizenship at the time. So when he was born, they only issued one birth certificate. That would be a Canadian birth certificate. Now, sure, he in 2014 renounced his U.S. citizenship, or his Canadian citizenship, rather. But that means he's not a citizen of any country because he never went through the naturalization process. True, because he didn't think he had to, which is false. And therefore, despite all the really great, terrific things that he's doing, that people love him for, he's still constitutionally ineligible to be president of the United States for exactly the same reason that Barack Hussein Obama is ineligible, the same exact reason that Orly Tates is ineligible, the same reason that Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dinesh D'Souza, and Fabio are not eligible to be president of the United States. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Be careful out there, will you? Thanks.